A lot of people think Google's just a search box and Facebook's just a place to see what my friends are doing. What they don't realize is there's entire teams of engineers whose job is to use your psychology against you.
The entire internet economy is literally based off of surveillance.
The idea is that we take all the world's information and make it accessible and useful to everyone. There's what I call the creepy line.
My name's Brady. Just turned 19. I enjoy sports. I'm playing on my phone and video.
Why?
So I'm Alex Cairns. I'm 21 years old. I'm a senior studying electromechanical engineering at Penn State University.
Casey, I'm 23. I'm Stephanie's brother. I'm in college now for criminal justice. And
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Emily and I am Stephanie's older sister. I'm 30 years old. I have a full-time job in logistics. I actually graduated from Duquesne University in 2013. A full-time job, and I also work a side business in network marketing, and I have a 2-year-old son who keeps me very busy.
I'm Stephanie's mom, Diane. I'm 56 years old. I'm retired, and I work from home for a couple of friends' businesses.
I am 87 and I am retired and having a wonderful life.
Alright, so I just want you to describe like your present relationship with social media. So that could be like Snapchat, Instagram, it can even be like Google, texting, just.
So I really only use like Snapchat and texting. My Snap score is like 1.3 million.
Snapchat, to me, it's just like, I don't know, like a lot of people, you just use it for communication. I already have text. I don't see a reason to download a new app for that.
Probably only texting is the only one I
So
use.
I mostly use texting. I do use Google to search for
I
things.
use Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, and TikTok currently.
I scroll on TikTok all day.
You know, others like TikTok, which is extremely addictive, and I've even seen that like in my friends.
I use social media a lot every
I
day.
use social media for everything. The typical ones like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat a little bit. I also use Google for everything.
There are some social media sites that I definitely use, like Facebook.
I'm reminded of Facebook.
Use Facebook to stay in touch with friends and family.
Reddit, Instagram, but there's a bunch that I intentionally avoid, like TikTok and Snapchat.
What you're doing online is being watched, is being tracked. Every single action you take.
Like, why'd you start using social media?
I think because all my friends and everyone else around were using it. Everybody my age uses it, so I figured I gotta do it too. Kind of followed the crowd.
Yes, I followed the trend with my kids, followed the trend with, the other people around me who were doing the same thing.
Started, I want to say, maybe like middle school or high school is when we started out with MySpace. At that time, I was in school, so everyone was doing it, so that's kind of why I started with it.
And using it was just when I could afford it. I didn't use it until I could afford it. It initially I need to use it in my work. My medical work, I'd be on call many times, and someone would come in over a phone, which might be a phone in your house, in your kitchen with a cord on it. Oh, then we got beepers.
I think that I am uncommon in some regards, especially, there's been times like where somebody's like, hey, what's your Snap? So I can add you and, we can talk, and there's like, I don't have one. And
Do people think you're crazy when you say you don't have a Snapchat?
Oh, definitely.
Which do you feel is better, your in-person relationships, your virtual?
Definitely in person, because texting and like Snapchatting can be kind of difficult sometimes because people take a while to respond.
The relationships I have in person are much better. I like to have the personal touch, like to be able to talk to people. You know, I think it's very impersonal on social media, other than to see people's pictures.
Besides, like, they weren't real in front of me, right?
Yeah.
Which makes it super easy to drift apart.
Well, clearly, face-to-face ones, live and flesh, are much better.
You know, you're in person, the people that you're with and around every day, those are your bond's much closer. I think you're much closer to those people when you have better memories and have better times.
Definitely the relationships I have in person with people. Just, you know, building those relationships and getting together with people in person and talking in person, and kind of making those memories.
It's still important to connect with people personally, especially my kids. Be in the same house texting instead of talking to each other.
We have less control over who we are and what we really believe.
No democratic accountability.
They can suppress certain types of results based on what they think you should be seeing.
They're denying or allowing us access to information before we see and think, so we don't even know. You look at.
And has there ever been a time where you've been talking to someone and they've been like scrolling on their phone and you've kind of felt like it ruined the conversation or it had any effect? Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, definitely. I think whenever people are looking at their phone and you're talking to them, I don't think that they're fully attentive to what you're saying. And at times when you're trying to tell them something that you care about or would like to tell them or you're interested in, it is kind of rude and kind of can annoy you if they're not really paying attention.
Yeah, so people are on their phones in front of me constantly, and I do feel that you are, like, I'm saying something that I believe to be worthy of you listening, or else I wouldn't be saying it. And you know, I intend to give you the respect of actually paying attention to what you're saying. So I would prefer it if you give me that same respect back and actually open your ears and generally glance in my direction
when that happens.
It's horrible. They're always on their phone, they're scrolling on their phone, and they're half paying attention.
Definitely annoying when you are trying to talk to someone and you can tell that they're very disconnected and they're not paying attention and they're just looking at their phone.
Meeting you in person to talk with you, like, I want to have that time to actually talk and get to know you. And if you're just texting other people or being on your phone, it just makes me feel like you don't want to be here.
Yeah, it would make me feel ticked off. Yeah, no, I'd rather do it sometime when we both had a mutual interest, and our number one thing was to talk to one another, not when somebody else had some other.
A lot of the other people said that makes you feel like they're not giving you their full attention. Would you say that's true?
Of course. Yeah.
And would you say in that sense, communication like media can have some effect on in-person relationships?
So I think that does affect your in-person relationships with your friends that you're talking to at the time.
It can, yeah. If you
Topic.
Definitely.
Yeah, you don't want to talk with someone that doesn't feel like talking to you.
It's such a habit to like pick up and start scrolling, and I don't even do it intentionally.
Ad revenue as possible.
And how have you learned about this addictive feature of social media?
There are definitely a bunch of articles. Eventually they changed the business model where every like second or third post was an advertisement. And it just hit me like I'm a third or even half of the stuff I'm seeing now isn't actual content. It's just dollar signs, right? They're just making money on me. In recent years, been more interest in it. People studying like mental health as it pertains to social media. There's a great documentary that came out, I don't know, a year or so ago, maybe on Netflix, The Social Dilemma. The biggest problem that Social Dilemma kind of really points out is the fact that people don't even realize it's happening. So, which allows, you know, to go on forever.
Facebook discovered that they were able to affect real-world behavior and emotions without ever triggering the user's awareness. They are completely clueless.
What changes have you noticed in society due to social media growth?
That same answer that the disenfranchised people, the voiceless people, can have a voice, and then the other side of that is that so much of the time the voices are voices of hatred. But there's a lot of good and a lot of bad.
Being bombarded with rumors.
If everyone's entitled to their own facts, there's really no need for people to come together. In fact, there's really no need for people to interact.
I think we were naive about the flip side of that coin.
You get rewarded by hearts, likes, thumbs up, and we conflate that with value and we conflate it with truth.
And would you say that personally, like, you're either addicted or dependent on social media, and which ones, and just like, why do you feel like you are the way you are?
I think that I could definitely use it less than I do, but I wouldn't say that I'm fully addicted to it. I've gone.
Yeah, I feel like I am for sure. You know, it has just been, as I said, just like such a habit in my life. So I just will pick up my phone, start scrolling, not even think about it. You run an online business, and it is primarily run through my cell phone. You know, I would say 95% virtual for running my business. So I'm definitely dependent on it for that.
Is I can't say that I'm addicted or dependent on it, but like many people, I do go onto my phone and my social media every day.
I wouldn't say I'm dependent on it. I mean, I do use it a lot to talk to a lot of people.
I'll say that I think the problem with addiction is that most people don't realize they have it, right? So I'm